Namaste everyone. My name is Moumita and I hope you all are keeping well physically as well as mentally. Today I'm back with another session on Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and the topic for today is the RTI file for the Electropherogram report of Gumnami Baba, which is somewhere related to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. And for discussing this topic, we have amongst us a very dignified speaker who needs no introduction, and he is none other than Shri Niladri Banerjee joining us today. So let's welcome him on board and start the session for today. Sir, thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, connected to Gumnami Baba, and today we are going to talk on the RTI file for the electropherogram report on Gumnami Baba. So, starting with the RTI thing, I would like to first start with what is your take on the RTI file for the electropherogram report on Gumnami Baba?
See, the RTI has been filed by Shayok Sen, who happens to be an activist on Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. And the RTI was filed to CFSL Calcutta. The applicant wanted to know three things. One is the electropherogram report of the DNA test of this Gumnami Baba done under the supervision of Mukherjee Commission of Inquiry is still available or not. First question was put. The second question was, if not, the applicant seeks a copy of the official correspondence that led to the destruction of the report. That is, if the report has been destroyed, then he seeks a copy of the official correspondence for the same. Number three, if it exists, the applicant requests a copy of the same, as it is not provided in the Mukherjee Commission exhibits. And also, since Mukherjee Commission has been dissolved, there remains no question of the third party exposure of the report. So the RTI applicant basically wanted a copy of the electropherogram report if it exists, because it is not available in the Mukherjee Commission exhibit. Now, what has been the response? The response is, first, the electropherogram report of DNA test of Gumnami Baba is available at this laboratory. So they have confirmed that the electropherogram report of Gumnami Baba is there. Number two naturally does not arise, that it has not been destroyed. And number three, it is saying the copy of the said report cannot be provided as per rules 8(1)(a) and E, as well as 11(1) of RTI Act 2005. So it is clearly specifying that as per certain rules, this electropherogram report cannot be put in the public domain. So they are making it pretty clear that as per this 8(1)(a) rules of the RTI Act, they cannot make it public. Now, what is there in the 8(1)(a)? It is written in the 8(1)(a) two things. One is the information disclosure of which would prejudicially affect the sovereignty and integrity of India, the security, strategic, scientific, or economic interest of the state, relation with foreign state, or lead to incitement of an offense cannot be made public. So, basically, what this RTI reply is saying, that if the electropherogram report of this Gumnami Baba is made public, then the sovereignty and integrity of India may get affected. The security, strategic, scientific, or economic interest of India may get affected. Relation with foreign state may get affected, and this can lead to incitement of violence. So basically, they are saying that making public a report on Gumnami Baba would lead to all this. Now the question arises, if there are millions of sadhus in India, there has been, and there will be millions in future. Now, if Gumnami Baba had been just a sadhu, then why would making his electropherogram report of his DNA test public lead to all this? This is only possible if Gumnami Baba had been a public figure of importance, of national importance, and of international stature. Now, names of Gumnami Baba has been linked to only one personality, which is Subhash Chandra Bose. So this is, in a way, tactfully the government is admitting, I think, that Gumnami Baba was Subhash Chandra Bose. Only thing, they cannot disclose the information right now, because this can affect the law and order in the country. This can affect relation with the foreign countries. So they cannot make it public right now. So this is a tactful admission, according to me, by the government that Gumnami Baba was Netaji. Whether this admission is correct or not, that is another question. But all we can say is right now the government is saying that okay, Gumnami Baba they think was Netaji.
Okay. So, like, what do you think? Like, do you feel that as per the reports are concerned, do you believe that now Netaji was himself Gumnami Baba? Because see, it is like beating around the bush. People are like, just diplomatically, the central government is giving diplomatic answers in both the way. In one way, it is saying that we are not confirming it is Netaji is Gumnami Baba, but at the same time, they are also saying that okay, the electropherogram reports can't be made publicly available because it may harm the sovereignty and integrity of the country and also harm the international relations. But when it comes to that point, like they are not confirming, neither they are admitting. So what do you think about it? Because as per the general public is concerned, like people like me, we will definitely believe the second point only, that Gumnami Baba might be, like the chances are majority of Gumnami Baba to be Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. So, what do you think, sir, about this? What is your personal opinion?
See, I consider myself a follower of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, but
Hmm,
when I look at it as a researcher on Netaji's disappearance mystery, then
hmm,
I would prefer to look at it without any emotions, based on
hmm,
facts, based on evidences. Because moment emotions come in, then I'll be biased, I'll be prejudiced towards one conclusion or the other. What we
hmm,
can say at this stage is Netaji did not die in any air crash in 1945, 18th August. I am saying this because last inquiry commission on Netaji's disappearance appointed by Government of India in 2005, they submitted the report, and in that report they mentioned very specifically there was no air crash on 18th August 1945 at Tayuku Airport, which means the
hmm,
question of Netaji's dying in a air crash does not arise. The
hmm,
same Mukherjee Commission also said that Gumnami Baba was not Netaji based on a DNA test report, because Gumnami Baba's DNA was matched with Netaji's DNA, and based on that report, which was tested in government laboratory, which happens to be CFSL Calcutta, it was said that Gumnami Baba was not Netaji. Now, what Shayokshin has asked for is to make that report public. In other words, to
hmm,
make the electropherogram report, which is the basis of a DNA test, public. Now, when the
hmm,
government is saying now that, well, making that report public will lead to a lot of political tensions, affect the integrity of the country, this implies two things. One, there is a possibility that whatever report government had given to Mukherjee Commission was not correct. The
hmm,
government has said the DNA is not matching. So there is a possibility that DNA is matching. One possibility. The second possibility, so then if the government has to make this report public, then government has to admit that that lab had given false report to Justice Mukherjee Commission, which would lead to a lot of controversies naturally. Secondly, what I get to know later on, that Netaji was possibly named a war criminal after Second World War, because he had been on the Allied side for Indian independence. Now, what if it comes out that India had known that Netaji was in India and had not informed the Allied powers about it? So the world powers about it, the powers like US, like UK, the European France, India had not informed them about it, then it can affect India's relation with those countries, which was very apparent. And also there's a possibility, going by Gumnami Baba version of Netaji's disappearance mystery, Gumnami Baba himself said he went to Soviet Russia after 1945. And Dr.
Gumnami
Purubira is,
Baba said that.
yeah, he said that he
Gumnami.
was in
Okay.
Soviet. Yeah, he was in Siberia, he said, which is matching with what Dr. Purobira had discovered on behalf of the Asiatic Society in Russia. Dr. Purobira, on behalf of Asiatic Society, had been to Russia in 1995, possibly around that time. She discovered there's an archive called Groove Archive in Russia, where she went there along with her Russian colleague, Russian researcher, Alexander Kalashnikov. Now, she was not allowed to enter the archive, but Alexander Kalashnikov, being a Russian, was allowed to enter. And Alexander Kalashnikov discovered minutes of the meeting in that archive, which minutes of the meeting was dated 1946 October, in which Joseph Stalin was presiding. And one of the points in that meeting was, in the minutes of the meeting was, we have to decide what you do with Chandra Bose, which implies that Subhash Chandra Bose, Chandra Bose means only Subhash Chandra Bose, was in Russia in October 1946. This is matching with the Gumnami Baba theory also. Secondly, Dr. Purabira has not given any evidence that Netaji died in Russia. There's an assumption later on by G.D. Bakshi, by Subramaniam Swamy and other eminent people who thought that Netaji was killed in Russia. But till date, there's no evidence that Netaji was killed in Russia. Instead, what we find in 1949, Netaji's elder brother and the person closest to him in the family, Sharat Chandra Bose, who also happened to be a Congress leader, used to take out a newspaper called The Nation. And in that newspaper, there was a headline that Netaji in Red China. There's a question mark. And then it went on to say that they think government possesses information about Netaji's whereabouts in China. So going by Sharat Chandra Bose's version, who happened to be a lawyer, a very logical person, not a person to be swayed by emotions, that Netaji was in China in 1949. So Russia in 1946, 1946 Russia, 1949 China. Then there's a evidence by different witnesses that Gumnami Baba happened to be Netaji. This is more of eyewitness driven. Add to it, when Gumnami Baba's handwriting was matched with Netaji by an American handwriting expert, it was recently reported in Shangbad Pratidin, a Bengali newspaper also. It matched completely. It matched completely with Gumnami Baba's handwriting. So handwriting also matched. Now, only thing which is not matching is the DNA. That's where it is not coming. So Justice Sahai Commission, which was appointed to find out if Gumnami Baba was Netaji, actually commented that Gumnami Baba is not Netaji based on this DNA test report. Now, if the DNA test report is made public, which would imply that the electropherogram report is made public, then it will solve all the mystery, I think. So there's no need to draw a conclusion. All we can ask for is that since Netaji was alive after 1945, we need to know what happened to Netaji. And to solve this mystery, let CFSL declassify the electropherogram report on Netaji, on Gumnami Baba. It will solve the entire mystery. We'll know clearly if Gumnami Baba was Netaji or not. So why is this secrecy coming from? Where is this question of India's integrity and unity getting affected coming?
Exactly. So, is the West Bengal government working on this, like in any way? Is the West Bengal government working on this in any way?
No, I think it is the responsibility of the central government because CFSL happens to be a central agency. Okay.
Right.
So I don't know if they are working on this anyway, but what I feel somehow there's a matter of time before it will come out. The central government is only tasting waters, I think, or CFSL is indirectly tasting waters by seeing that what kind of response it generates in the among the people, because there is a fear that if this kind of information comes out and it comes in the public domain, that Netaji was in India till 1985 when Gumnami Baba supposedly died, then a lot of people might actually get very angry with the government of India. Why this information was not made public? Why a personality like Netaji was allowed to remain in seclusion in this way? Why he was humiliated in this way? And also the bigger question, Moumita, which will come up: why didn't Netaji's family take back Netaji? So there will be a big question mark on the family of Netaji. Now you will see the biggest opposition to this theory is coming from basically Netaji's family. They are saying, no, Gumnami Baba can't be Netaji. Now my question is, that if Gumnami Baba is not Netaji, they should also ask for declassification of the electropherogram report of Gumnami Baba, because that will conclusively prove that Gumnami Baba was not Netaji. But they are not asking for that. They are saying, no, 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 this cannot be true. This cannot be true. This is an insult to Netaji. Instead, if they had asked for the declassification of the report, it would have solved. Possibly, they are also scared if the report is declassified, if it matches with Netaji, then their credibility will be at stake. So there are much
Absolutely.
bigger, questions to be raised out of this mystery.
Absolutely, because if a leader like Netaji, who was not afraid of the British rule, when we were under British rule, to form an army and fight against them, then what compelled him to, stay aloof inside his own nation in a different state, like, away from his own family and the followers and supporters, even after independence? That's what the major question lies. What made a leader like him, go to a place and stay behind the walls even after the independence of India? That's the major question that will come, I guess, if it is revealed as
Moumita, if you
yes.
remember Rishi Aurobindo, he was a revolutionary as well. Now, Rishi
Hmm,
Aurobindo became a saint later on, went to
hmm,
Pondicherry, established his own ashram, and completely withdrew from the movement. Now,
hmm,
Netaji himself has been a spiritual person all through. He was never
hmm,
into politics in his teenage. He was, in fact, a follower of Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda and wanted to do social service following their ideology. He was drawn into politics by an unfortunate incident in Presidency College, where Professor Otten made some remarks which actually was very insulting to Indians. So Netaji protested against it, got involved in the student movement, and was rusticated from the Presidency College. Thereby, he became a public figure, and then he was drawn into politics. Subsequently, after he came fourth in the ICS exam, he decided to not to accept this ICS offer and come back to India and join Congress. That's how he got inducted into politics. But
hmm,
Netaji was not someone who aspired to be a politician. He was drawn into politics by his desire to free India, because he thought
hmm,
that when the nation needs him, it is a sin not to actually participate in what he can contribute for the nation. But after independence, the scenario had completely changed. First of all, the people who helped Netaji to win independence for India, like Japan, they were defeated in the World War. Germany was defeated in the World War. Italy was defeated in the World War. Those who won the World War was America, UK, and France, and these powers. Now, these powers naturally was ruling the world. Now, if Netaji had come out in the open, it could be possible at that point of time. India could have been in a disadvantageous position. Maybe Netaji had thought about it. It is quite possible. And if I come out now, then India will be in a very big trouble, because on one hand, India can never give him the public support for Netaji, his own Netaji. On the other hand, these powers will naturally trying to castigate India for actually giving shelter to Netaji, or for not knowing, letting them know, handing over Netaji to them. So India will be in a fix, big fix, if Netaji was out in the open. So this possibility always remains, that Netaji thought about the well-being of the country, and he chose to remain in seclusion. And also, he was always a spiritual person. He never aspired for power. In fact, he told his soldiers of Indian National Army, Azad Hind Fauj, that after independence, they should go and serve Gandhi. So that was his version. He never said go and participate in power. So that was his way of looking at things, that he believed in fighting selflessly for the cause of Indian independence, not for capturing power. And he knew that India was in safe hands. So, given that scenario, it is quite possible, the possibility always remains, that Netaji chose to remain in seclusion. But the
hmm,
question comes up that Netaji's family, they could have given shelter to Netaji, they could have accepted Netaji. Then why didn't they accept it? And why don't they, after he has passed away? Suppose for secrecy they didn't accept him. But after he
yeah,
passed away, then what is the hesitation in accepting this possibility, that it is
hmm,
possible? And also with Gumnami Baba, we have found many Netaji's possessions. How could
right.
these possessions of Netaji reach Gumnami Baba? That also needs to be asked. That if he was
Hmm,
Netaji, how is it possible from Netaji's family his possession reached Gumnami Baba? So this
hmm,
mystery needs to be solved. Very simple. I'm not saying Gumnami Baba was Netaji, but we
right.
cannot try to evade this basic truth.
Sir, your mic is muted.
Yeah, I was saying that we cannot try to evade this basic truth that
Hmm.
what happened to Netaji. We have to solve, and there is also a possibility that Gumnami Baba is not Netaji. But my question is, before the truth is out, why is Netaji's family in such a mode? They have even asked for arrest of Shayok Shen, who have filed this RTI query for for insulting Netaji. My question is that
It's
how
not
does
an
Netaji
insult
get?
if he is not.
So now then the question is, Rishi Aurobindo was insulted when he became a saint from a revolutionary.
Absolutely.
Was it so? Absolutely not, I think.
No.
Rishi
Hmm.
Aurobindo also was respected as a saint, like he was respected as a revolutionary. And it
Hmm.
could have been Netaji's choice that, he chose to be a spiritual person and lead a secluded life, keeping India's interest in mind after the war. It's possible. Why not face the truth? And it is quite possible that Gumnami Baba was not Netaji. So that is also
Hmm.
possible. Why can't we approach a mystery with an open mind? And now, what is even more surprising, some
Hmm.
of the members of the family were earlier saying Netaji did not die in an air crash, and they were
Hmm.
wanting the mystery to be revealed. They are now saying that he actually died in the air crash. They
Hmm.
have changed their version. Why is it happening? Now, when I asked some of them to actually
Hmm.
give the evidence, they must have got some new evidence that Netaji died in the air crash. Till date, they haven't been able to share any new evidence. They are saying everything is there in the reports declassified by Narendra Modi ji, but Narendra Modi ji has declassified 303 files till now. I've gone through all the files and haven't come across a single evidence that Netaji died in the air crash.
Hmm.
So the question comes up that what is the harm in getting the truth out? That's the question I wanted to ask.
Sir, in if we come to the plane crash theory, if you believe that the Netaji's plane crash theory was correct and he died on that plane crash, you have said on one of the videos which I was watching is like Modi ji went to Japan this year, and he did not go to the Rinpoche temple where it is said that the ashes of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose is kept. He could have gone and like bring all those things so that any DNA test could have been done. Another question lies there also about the DNA test. Sir. If we could have done the DNA test for the from the ashes of the Rinpoche temple also, that also could have given us some of the support related to Gumnami Baba or Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. That has also not been done.
Moumita, this technique of DNA test was discovered in 1984. People who
Hmm.
believe that Netaji died in the air crash could have done the
Hmm.
DNA test much before, from 1984 to 2022. Why wasn't it
Absolutely.
done earlier? First question.
Hmm. Hmm.
Second question is, Modi ji went to Japan this year. He not only didn't arrange for any DNA test, he didn't even visit the Renkoji temple.
That's what.
He, because earlier Atal Bihari Vajpayee, when he had gone to Japan in 2000 possibly, he visited the temple. Jawaharlal Nehru had visited the temple. But Modi ji chose not to visit the temple. Why is it so? What
Yeah.
does it indicate? First of all, Modi ji on one hand is inaugurating statue of Netaji at India Gate
Hmm.
at the
Right.
end of Kartavya Path in place of the statue of King George V. So Netaji
Hmm.
has importance to the present government. If Netaji has
Absolutely.
importance to the present government, why isn't our Prime Minister visiting the Renkoji temple when he's in Japan? Doesn't it
Hmm.
imply that the Prime Minister does not believe and the government does not believe that Netaji died in a air crash? Secondly, why is the RTI reply saying that the unity and integrity of India will get affected, relations with foreign countries will get affected if the electropherogram report of Gumnami Baba is made public? Isn't
Hmm.
it an admission indirectly from the
Hmm.
government that Gumnami Baba was Netaji? So these questions are coming up, and maybe it's not the right time for the government because, given the world order right now, because the kind of crisis the world is in with Russia getting involved in a war with Ukraine and, post-COVID. So government may not think it is the right time to disclose this, but it has to be disclosed sometime or the other. I think it's a matter of time.
And truth can never be hidden, sir. Someday or the other, it will definitely come out. So why delay it? Because we, being the followers of Netaji, would definitely are would definitely want to know the truth, whatever it is. We are ready to accept the truth, whether he was Gumnami Baba or he was like he died in the plane crash theory or he was tortured in Russia, he was traumatized and everything. We don't mind. Our respect for him will remain the same. Just the thing is, I don't know why this kind of diplomatic answers are given from the central government. Why the some members of the Bose family are objecting to the RTI filed by Shayogda. So here now, as general people, we only want to know the basic truth. That okay, this is the reports, and anyhow, scientific proofs are always accepted by any person, be it about space or like a normal person's death or birth, whatever it is, scientific proofs are always accepted. So why not do the DNA and like or the electropherogram test being done and come to a conclusion finally. Why is it getting delayed? As you said, that maybe it is because of the current international relations. But do you think that within the next 5 years, anything is like the government will do anything regarding this, or the process will continue to move ahead like this only?
I have a feeling that the government is going to release these files pretty soon. One, because, see, Gumnami Baba, as far as I know, was based out of Ayodhya. In Ayodhya, Ram Mandir is going to be inaugurated possibly next year. And the elections are there in 2024. So I have a feeling that the government is also, the ruling party in the government is also waiting for the right time so that they can also get a political mileage out of it. Now, if it comes out, certainly a liability comes on the BJP government, but bigger onus will be in the Congress government for not revealing to the people that Netaji was there in spite of knowing if it is true. So the government might be waiting for the right time. Also, right now, internationally, Russia having invaded Ukraine, the relationships are very complex globally. And Russia, Netaji is supposed to be in Russia. So if this truth comes out, then also that truth will come out. Russia had given asylum to Netaji. So which would
Mm.
mean that Russia will also be drawn into this, whatever revelation will happen. Now, the government is possibly not sure how Putin will react to it, whether it will affect India's relation with Russia. That Russia might think that because they had given asylum to Netaji, being on the the side of America and UK in the war, so naturally, there will be question marks on Russia. So it might complicate India's relation with Russia as well. And secondly, if Netaji had been in China, had Sharat Chandra Bose believed, then what would happen? India's relation with China also might get affected because China might try to deny the story and try and say that no, it is not possible, and India is falsely blaming them for giving asylum to Netaji after the war, he being a war criminal if he at all was. Now the question, all these questions comes up, and the current geopolitical scenario, the government might wait for the right time. But if you look at it, what is the government doing? Why did Modi ji suddenly inaugurate the statue of Netaji at India Gate? Think of it.
Mm.
Kartabya Path, end of Kartabya Path, why Netaji's statue has been put up. So government definitely has a plan with Netaji. And I won't be surprised if this plan is to reveal the true identity of Netaji's life after 1945. That's where they're heading. And if you look at it recently, some TV channels which are known to be, pro-government, they have been doing elaborate coverage of Gumnami Baba. They have sent their
Mm-hmm.
representative to Faizabad doing stories on this. Now the question comes up: why are they doing it suddenly? One reason could be that this is something what people wants to hear. The other could be the government also wants this to be highlighted, and maybe they want the demand to come up from the people that look, people wants this to be revealed. That's why you are revealing in spite of all the complications. So there is no law and order problem. There could be various possibilities, and there is also a possibility that Gumnami Baba is not Netaji. That
Mm.
possibility also cannot be ruled out. But having said that, I would like to show you, or rather quote, a post from a member of the Netaji family in 2016. He is a grandson of Sharat Chandra Bose, who believed Netaji was in China in 1949. Now, grandson of Sharat Chandra Bose, Chandra Kumar Bose, who you also know very well, I suppose,
Yeah.
he actually made a post in Facebook. I have taken the screenshot from that post in Facebook. On 10th January 2016, he writes, during my vacation, I used to visit Auntie Emily Shankling. Emily Shankle happened to be the wife of Netaji, or the life partner of Netaji. Picture he has given in August 1995 at Augsburg, Germany. I became quite close to her, and I recall asking her what she thought of the air crash theory. Auntie, which means Emily Shankle, specifically told me that she never believed in the false theory of the air crash. Chandra Kumar Bose is writing. She was told by a Russian journalist that Netaji was very much alive in erstwhile Soviet Union after 1945. And then further, Chandrakumar Bose writes, Emily Shankle, till she passed away in March 1996, believe Netaji did not die in any air crash. Not only Netaji's elder brother, but also Netaji's supposed wife. She also believed, according to Chandrakumar Ghosh, that Netaji did not die in a crash. Now, suppose Netaji had lived, who would have known it the best? His wife? No one would have known it the best. He would have, in all probability, contacted his wife. But if it is there, and he would have, in all probability, contacted his brother, who was closest to him in the family. So I believe that these people are to be trusted much more than the present generation of the family, because the present generation of the family was not there when Netaji disappeared. But today, or he died. But Sharat Bose was there, Emily Shankle was there. Today we are being quoted Netaji's daughter, Anita Paf. She is claiming Netaji died in the air crash. But when Netaji died in the air crash, if he at all died, then Anita was possibly 3-year-old or 4-year-old. A 4-year-old girl, naturally, she doesn't have any experience at that point of time to know that whether he died or not. But Emily Shankle was very much there as an adult, and Sharat Bose was very much there. So who should we trust more? That is my question. Should we trust
the people who were present there?
Sharat Bose, or should we trust chairman of the Netaji Bureau, Sugato Bose, the historian from Harvard? Should we trust Sharat Bose, or should we trust Sugato Bose? Should we trust Emily Shankle, or should we trust Anita Paf? That is the question.
As per the
If you
government
go by
also,
trust.
as per the rules of the Indian government also, eyewitness is majorly considered to be more powerful. So in that case, if I talk from the legal eye, then definitely we will trust more on Sharat Chandra Bose and Emily Shankle, because they are saying that they were believing that Netaji was alive. And also there is another connection to Emily Shankle regarding our ex President Pranab Mukherjee sir also, when he visited her, and when he said that regarding Netaji, that he died, and she got angry during that time also. So probably we generally will believe that will generally believe the senior people of the Bose family, I guess. In that case, being the followers or whatever we are coming up with the conclusions with.
No, Moumita, I would differ with you on this. I would say that don't believe anybody. Believe in the evidence. And what is the evidence saying? What is Justice Mukherjee Commission, which is the last inquiry commission on Netaji, saying in his report? He did not die in air crash. Believe that. Believe in Dr. Purobi Rai, the researcher, who has no relation with Netaji's family. What is she saying? Netaji was in Russia in October 1946. Believe her. So believe the people who are not part of the family, who are not attached to the family, who have done scientific research and found out the truth. And of course, having said that Netaji did not die in a air crash, we need to discover what Chief Minister of Bengal, Moumita Banerjee, has said time and again. She said, standing in Netaji Bhavan, that she does not believe that Netaji died in a air crash, and she said it's a shame that we Indians still don't know what happened to him. Now the question is,
After
we
18th August 1945, there is no evidences of Netaji. However, he is supposed to be the first man of India, the first Prime Minister of undivided India. This is actually, I would agree to Srimati Moumita Banerjee on this because this is the absolute truth.
no, absolutely, and I would say again, I'll differ with you slightly.
Your mic is muted, sir. Sir, can't hear you. Hello? Hello? No. Okay. Yes,
Can
I
you hear
can
me
hear
now?
you now. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. See, actually, there are evidences, but these evidences was not taken into account. For example, if in the Groove archive Purobira had found the minutes of the meeting, then there could be some kind of request to Russia for declassification of the files in the Groove archive related to Netaji. This initiative could have been taken. Now, then again, there are many people who found evidence of existence of Netaji in Russia subsequently, but those accounts were not taken into account. For example, Radhakrishnan, our president, and he possibly found our second president. He found evidence of existence of Netaji in Russia. Possibly, it is said. Lal Bahadur Shastri possibly found evidence of his existence in Russia. Now, naturally, all those questions needs to be answered. That there are evidences. Also, from the files declassified by Mamata Banerjee's government in Bengal, we found that from 1947 to 1968, for these 21 years, there was surveillance on family of Netaji. Now, in Netaji's family, leaving aside Netaji and Sharad Ghosh, there was no one else who was such important in political stature that there will be actually, espionage on them. Then why was there surveillance? Sharad Ghosh passed away in 1950. So which doesn't it imply that government actually knew that there is a secret on Netaji which they wanted to find out? And that's why possibly the government actually did not declass. Actually, they went on carrying on the surveillance. So don't you think
Mm.
that all this indicates to something which we need to find out? And this Gumnami Baba story, I would say a story. Many eyewitnesses who have met Gumnami Baba, like Rita Banerjee. I saw her interview in one of the channels recently. She said she's completely convinced, and I think one of her family members was a doctor who actually treated Gumnami Baba. He had met Netaji earlier, and he was also So if I take
Right.
into account all this, then possibly we are leaving somewhere. This is the first time we are getting a clear direction to solve the mystery. I think this additional initiative, I agree with you. Whatever the consequences may be, the government need to set a finite timeline to actually declassify the electropherogram report and other
Absolutely.
files related to Gumnami Baba. And I think the best timeline could be 23rd January 2023, when Netaji's
Okay.
birthday, if the government can actually release these details and actually reveal the
Mm-hmm.
facts about Netaji, then that would be great. Let us see how the government handles it. But we have to somehow keep faith in our government. I think the truth needs to be out, and we need to work diligently to actually solve this mystery. We have traveled a long path together. You're also part of this movement, I believe, and so let us all work together to put pressure on the government to declassify the electropherogram report of Gumnami Baba to get started at least towards this final journey towards truth.
Right. Absolutely. I would also urge our viewers today that they should also, if whoever is watching it today, it is our right and it's the right to information. Being a citizen of the country and being a follower of Netaji and first Prime Minister of undivided India, and he should get the justice and the respect for this. particular position. In case if he was Gumnami Baba or he was not Gumnami Baba, we all need to know the truth, and I hope that the truth comes out very soon, and we all must together in like request the government to try to bring the truth in front of us so that we can come to a conclusion regarding this actually.
Sure, I completely agree with you, and I hope that the government will try and solve this mystery.
Yes, sir, absolutely. With this hope today, I thank you so much for joining me in this beautiful discussion and session, and requesting everybody to force the government or at least write something on this so that the truth comes out faster than we are expecting it to be on maybe before 2023 only we get to know the truth, and whatever the truth is, we are ready to accept it the way it is. Thank you so much, sir. Jai Hind.